Good morning, children. In the previous class, in the chapter Matter in Our Surroundings, we have started with the different properties of solid, liquid and gases, the three states of matter. So we have completed in the previous class about the mass of solid, liquid, gases, volume and shape. And then we have also seen compressibility. We have seen an activity to show that solids are incompressible, liquids are incompressible, but gases, they are highly compressible. Then we also saw shape, volume, mass and compressibility. These four properties of solid, liquid, gases we have seen. Now let us continue with the further properties. The next property is density. So children, before we discuss about the density of solid, liquid and gases, we should know actually what is density. So many of you must be knowing density formula is mass upon volume. But just knowing the definition of density is not sufficient. We should know actually what density means, or what in day-to-day life we understand by density. So it says mass per unit volume. It means that if the masses of two substances are fixed, let me consider there is a body 1 and a body 2, and density of the first body is V1, its mass is, let it be 200 gram, and volume V1, and the other body is 2, so its density will be 2, and it is also of the same mass, 200 gram upon volume V2. So what we can say, that if the mass is fixed, this is a constant value, we can say that density is inversely proportional to volume. More is the volume, less is the density. Same way, density inversely proportional to volume V2. Or in general, we can say density is inversely proportional to volume. Means the more the density, less the volume the body will occupy. Less the volume will occupy means it will take less space in which it will be existing. Now let me give you one example, very common example of things which are at home. Here I have a bag of puffed rice. All of you know, children, what is puffed rice? Puffed rice is murmura, which you call. So here it is 200 grams. As you can see here, it is written 200 grams. So we all know that puffed rice, it seems to be very light in weight. Okay. Here I have a 200 gram mango. Today only I have purchased it, and I have got it weighed from the vendor, and its weight is 200 grams. Now children, just see, in one hand I have puffed rice 200 grams, and in the other hand I have a mango of 200 grams. So if I ask you which will you feel more heavy, then immediately many of you can answer that mango will be more heavy as compared to the puffed rice. But children, both are having the same mass, means they will have the same weight. This is also 200 gram, this is also 200 grams, so this is not heavy, but it seems to be heavy. Why does it seem to be heavy? Though it is having the same mass, how much volume is it occupying? You can just see, it is coming in my palm, and it is 200 gram, but it is occupying more volume. So more the volume, its density has become less. When the density becomes less, we feel that it is lighter in weight. And here it is occupying, the same mass is occupying a smaller volume, so its density is more than this puffed rice. So we feel that this is heavy, means more mass is concentrated in a small volume. Here more mass is concentrated in a bigger volume. So density of puffed rice is less, density of the mango is more, though their masses are same. So I hope so you must have understood the concept of density with these day-to-day examples. So now let us come back to children, density of solid, liquid and gases. Let us study the density of the different states of matter. So solids, as we know that the particles of solids are very close to each other, means they will be arranged in a less volume. So it means that density of solid is high. And then the molecules of liquid are arranged more spaciously. So we can see liquids have moderate density. And then about gases, the molecules are very far away from each other, so the density is very less. Again, in solids and liquids, depending from one liquid to another liquid, the density will differ. Like honey. Honey is highly dense and water, its density is less. So honey, it settles down in the glass of water. Then the next one is rigidity and fluidity. Rigidity means tendency to be in its form as it is. We say some people are very rigid. So what does it mean? They are very rigid. They don't want to change themselves. That is rigid. So solids, they keep or they maintain their structure intact. They maintain their molecules intact. They don't want to change themselves. They don't want to change their shape. So how they are? Solids are rigid. Whereas liquids and gases, they can flow. We can pour a glass of water into another glass because liquid water has a property to flow. We can, the gas can occupy the entire room because it is having a tendency to flow. So liquids and gases both are fluids. We call them together commonly as fluids because they have a property to flow. Whereas solids, we can't call them as fluids, they are rigid. Why they are rigid? Because they cannot flow. Okay. Then the interparticle spaces. Among solids, the interparticle spaces means the particle between the spaces between the particles is very less. You can see when I am making the circles very close to each other, stuck to each other, you can see very minute spaces present in between. So this is the quantity or amount of space which is present between the particles of solid. The interparticle spaces are very less. In liquids, the spaces may be somewhat like this. So in liquid, the interparticle spaces is more than that of solids, and gases, the interparticle spaces is very large. And that is how we can relate it with density also. Just now we have discussed the topic of density. Then the next is interparticle force of attraction. So interparticle force of attraction, but naturally in solids must be very high, and that is why the particles are very close to each other, spaces become less. Why? Because the force of attraction is more between the particles. In liquid, the force of attraction is moderate here, and in gas, the force of attraction is the least. And that is why gas molecules, they are not under the effect of each other's force of attraction, so they can move as much distance possible away from each other. Then kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, the energy associated with the motion. So how is the motion of the particles of solid? The kinetic energy of solid is the least. Why is the kinetic energy least? Because there is a high force of attraction between the particles. Particles will not leave each other and go. So but it doesn't mean that the particles are stationary. They can move. But how they will move? They will just vibrate about their mean positions. Like this or like this. So the particles of solid are just vibrating about their mean positions. They can't leave their space and go. So kinetic energy will be least obvious it is. In liquids, the force of attraction is a little less. So particles, they have some restricted ability to move. Like a glass of water is there, the molecules which are there in that glass of water, they can move in that volume which is occupied by water, not beyond that. So a glass of water is there, half a glass, and then whichever molecule is here, it can go up and come down and go up and come down and go here and there. So the molecule can move in that given volume, but it can't go beyond that. So the motion is there in the molecules, but still it is not so fast or not so uncontrollable. So here it is moderate again. Kinetic energy will be moderate, and the highest kinetic energy will be of gases. So gases will have very high kinetic energy. They can move with lot of speed. And then diffusion. The last one is the diffusion. Diffusion means we have seen that the intermixing of one substance into another. We have seen the effect of temperature also and diffusion. So mixing of gas into gas is the fastest. That is how you get the aroma in the second room, in the third room as well, or even from your neighbor's house also you can get the aroma of things being cooked. Because the diffusion of gas in another gas is very fast. Even liquids, the diffusion is not so slow. Why? Because solid, liquid and gases, all three can diffuse in liquids. So here also diffusion takes place at a moderate rate. And yes, it will depend on temperature also. And then solids, the diffusion is very slow. Actually, there are only some cases where a solid can diffuse into another solid. For example, if you tie two blocks of metals with each other, stuck to each other, and it is tied very strongly, close packed with each other, after many years, we can see the diffusion of the surface of one metal on the other surface. So this is the diffusion of a solid into another solid. Even the board, in the schools we have the board, and on the board we write with chalk. Now you can understand the fresh handwriting or fresh things written on the board, and a piece of some paragraph or like that, if it is written a few months, like you soon come after the vacation, and if suppose something was written on the board before you went for vacation, so you can identify that this is not written now, it has become old, blurred. So that is a diffusion. Diffusion of chalk on the surface of the board. That is an example of diffusion of a solid into solid. So solids also can diffuse into solids. Even you write with pencil in a notebook. And the previous year's notebook, sometimes if you open and see, so you can find out that the writing with the pen or the pencil, it seems to be blurred. It has spread on the page. So it was not like that when you had written it fresh. So that is also diffusion of solid into solid. So these are all the cases where solid also can diffuse into solid, but the process is very slow. So here diffusion is not very common and slow. The diffusion will be very slow. Here it will be moderate. Here it will be very fast. So here we come on to the end of the properties of solid, liquid and gases. There are two more states of matter which we need not study so much in detail. Only for your extra information, they are the plasma state of matter and the Bose-Einstein condensate. Plasma state of matter requires a very high temperature and or high voltage current, under which the gas molecules, they split up into ions, or ion formation takes place. So that is what we call as a plasma state. That is in the core of the stars, in the sun, whatever state of matter is there, that is what we call as the plasma state. Even the fluorescent tubes, the neon lamps, helium lamps, so they are also example of the plasma state. And the last one is the Bose-Einstein condensate. Bose-Einstein condensate is a state of matter which is obtained when a very low density gas means how much will be the density? Nearly 1,000 times or 100th time of the density of air. At that density, such low density, if the gas is super cooled, then whatever state of matter will be obtained, that will be known as the Bose-Einstein condensate. So the calculations for this state of matter was given by Satyendranath Bose, an Indian physicist, and the state of matter was proved by Einstein, and that is why the state is known as the Bose-Einstein condensate. So plasma state and Bose-Einstein condensate, these two things are not from exam point of view, but these solid liquid gases, they are very important, and the properties of solid liquid gases, the different properties associated with the states of matter, they are very important from exam point of view. So I hope so you have understood this topic. Any queries you can ask personally on my WhatsApp number, or you can even give a call. In the next period we will continue further with the next topic of the chapter.